Okay, oh, one more is coming on in. We're excited to see everyone and have you here with us this morning, so we want to make sure you're all with us. Chris Bischoff, could you turn, just looking here, I just want to turn off your video. Great, thank you. Okay, let's get started. So good morning, everyone. My name is Carrie Niemeyer. I'm really excited to be here with you this morning. I work in the Kelowna office, take care of the marketing for Wells Grey Tours, and really excited to be here this morning to share a little bit more in-depth information with you about Churchill polar bears. Churchill beluga whales. Oh my goodness. Okay, got one more person just coming in. Audrey, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Can you make sure to please turn off your video? Thank you. Okay, so for anyone who is joining us, please make sure you are muted and your video is off. So we're going to get started. Welcome, welcome. I want to introduce this morning, joining me is Laura Sampson from Frontiers North. So I'm just going to pull her up here as well. So good morning, Laura. Very excited to have her with us this morning. She works for Frontiers North, a company we have partnered with for quite a few years. As I mentioned by mistake, Churchill Polar Bears, that is a tour we have sold. We just absolutely love going there. But this year is the first time we'll be selling the beluga whales, partnering with Frontiers North. So really, really excited to talk a little bit more about the beluga whales. Now, just a couple of housekeeping notes. If you do have any questions throughout the presentation, at the top of your screens, there are 3 buttons that you can click, and it's a More button, and that would allow you to have a chat screen, and you can put your questions in the chat. If there are any questions related to the tour that we are doing in Churchill that Frontiers North is taking part in, those are the questions you can put in the chat, and Laura can try to answer some of those at the end of the presentation today if there's time. If we don't get to all those questions in the chat, don't worry, we'll keep those questions and then get back to you personally. Any questions that would be related to the tour itinerary itself or booking the tour or any of those kinds of questions, please have those go through Wells Grey Tours. So that means you can call your local office who you've booked with, or you can email myself and I'll make sure that gets forwarded on to the office. So hope that makes sense. One exciting news this morning is if you are joining us live, that means you are eligible, if you do book on the Beluga Whales tour, for a $100 discount per person. So that's to reward you for joining us this morning. Now, if you've already booked on the tour with us and you're joining us live, don't worry, we know who you are and we'll make sure you get that $100 per person discount applied. Now, of course, we know we are still living in slightly uncertain times, but we're very, very hopeful that things are going to open up by the summertime and that the future is looking very bright. So we are so excited to be planning these really unique, exciting tours. We are getting a lot of questions, of course, around COVID. And for example, Manitoba currently does have a quarantine in place if you travel to the province. But we are very hopeful that that would be lifted by the summertime and we could go ahead with the tour. So if for any reason, of course, if we had to cancel because of COVID, you know, we always have plan B in place to either cancel or postpone a tour. So don't worry about that, just stay hopeful. And one other plan B we have in place is just for any reason if the train with Via Rail, we are booked on the Sleeper Plus because it is a 2-day journey from Winnipeg up into Churchill. And I know it is a highlight, so we're hoping that will go ahead. But if for any reason that train didn't run and we couldn't have the sleeper cabins available for you, we would have you being flown from Winnipeg up into Churchill. So we already have a plan B in place. So this is the world we live in. We have plan A, plan B, and then usually a plan C or D. So just hang in there. So let's get started. So I'm going to share my screen with you. We have a PowerPoint to share with you this morning. Okay, we had some sound technology issues. I am back and welcome. I think hopefully everyone can hear. So this is the Churchill Beluga Whales itinerary, leaving July 30th for 9 days. It is a tour 15. So 15 people, we have a few seats left, and it is a hiker level 2. So keep those things in mind. So for this tour, this leaves Friday, July the 30th. We will be flying you from your home city, so whether that is Kelowna, Kamloops, Vancouver, or Victoria, we're flying you to Winnipeg. In Winnipeg, we have 2 nights here to enjoy Winnipeg, and our accommodation is at the Inn at the Forks. Lovely property located right in the heart of Winnipeg, close to the Museum for Human Rights. If you can see in the photo to the right, lots of wonderful shops and restaurants around. So a really nice first 2 days in Winnipeg. We will have a locally city guided tour and then also be going to the Canadian Museum for Human Rights. So we'll have a few hours here to enjoy this fascinating museum, and also a couple hours at the Manitoba Museum. So a really fun-filled couple days in Winnipeg. Then on Sunday, August 1st, this is when we will check in at the Via Rail station and we will board the train. We'll settle into the Sleeper Plus accommodations. So you'll have lots of time to explore the facilities on the train. We pull out of Winnipeg around noon, and then it is a 45-hour journey north to Churchill. So the Monday will be spent traveling through many villages, beautiful scenery, passing hundreds of lakes. The train often will stop at some of the villages throughout the journey if the villages request a stop by the train. But we do have a scheduled stop in Thompson, which is the largest northern city in Manitoba. And the train is scheduled to stop here for about 5 hours in the afternoon, which is nice. You can get off, go for a walk. It's a mining town that was founded in the 1950s. So lots of history and just a nice way to have a break from the train. And then the next morning, we are scheduled to arrive in Churchill at 9 a.m. So from here, I'm going to pass this over to Laura from Frontiers North. She's our group sales planner, and she's going to tell us all the wonderful things we're going to see and do in Churchill. Okay, Laura, I can see you're clicking through the screen, but you might be on mute.
Okay, here we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Sorry about that. Okay, well, hi everyone. Thank you so much, Carrie, for having me this morning. As Carrie mentioned, my name is Laura, and I am the group sales planner at Frontiers North Adventures. So now I can't click through. Sorry, Carrie, it looks like I'm stuck here. Oh, here we are. I think it's just a little delayed. Okay, so you might be asking, who is Frontiers North? Well, Frontiers North is a leader in responsible tourism, specializing in authentic tours that share the wildlife, history, and culture of Canada's North. We bring guests to incredible corners of Canada's North so they can experience firsthand the history, culture, and wildlife of a part of the world that not many people will have a chance to see. We take responsibility to not only ensure we are traveling sustainably in these fragile ecosystems, but also to inspire and educate people from around the world. But today we're here to talk about the exciting program we've put together with Wells Grey Tours that brings you to see the awe-inspiring beluga whales in Churchill, Manitoba. I'm going to run through the itinerary as you can expect to experience the adventure. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. It's not letting me change slides very nicely. Okay, so the adventure begins in Winnipeg with a 2-night stay at the Inn at the Forks Hotel, a boutique property located at the Forks National Historic Site in downtown Winnipeg. During this time, guests are free to explore the Canadian Museum for Human Rights, the Journey to Churchill exhibit at the Assiniboine Park Zoo, the HBC collection at the Manitoba Museum, or one of the many other great attractions Winnipeg has to offer. On the third day, guests will check in at the train station for an early afternoon departure to Churchill. Once on board, guests will spend the next 2 days traveling through 3 different biospheres, including the prairie grasslands, boreal forest of the Canadian Shield, and last but not least, the tundra of northern Manitoba, all while getting to know fellow group members while taking in Carrie, is it better if you flip the slides?
Here, I can try. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, it's sticking. I don't know. It's
Sticking. Okay, let's go back, see if I have control again. Okay, so we're back to this one. Oh, I'm so sorry, everyone. Technology is such a challenge. Okay, but we're gonna get better at this the more we host these webinars.
Or
okay.
If you want, I can share my screen too.
Okay, so here we go. Maybe if you just say next and then I'll click for you.
Sure. Okay, we can go to the next slide. Okay, so once the group arrives into Churchill, a small northerly community of approximately 900 people situated on the shores of the Hudson Bay, next, guests will immediately embark on a Churchill and area tour, visiting local and historical points of interest. A stop along the way is Cape Mary National Historic Site, a stone battery built in 1746 that provided additional protection for Prince of Wales Fort across the Churchill River. It is an excellent location for watching whales, viewing waterfowl or migrating birds, or simply enjoying the panoramic view of the Hudson Bay. Another popular stop is Manitoba Conservation's Polar Bear Holding Facility, or is affectionately referred to by locals, Polar Bear Jail. If a bear is repeatedly chased from the town, it may eventually be captured and put in jail for up to 30 days before being released north of the town or out onto the frozen Hudson Bay. The group will also visit the Inukshuk at Town Beach. Located directly on Hudson Bay, This large Inukshuk is a popular spot for group photography, but be aware, there are often polar bear sightings along the shore. Next. Afterwards, guests will be able to check into their hotel to relax and unwind before the coming days in Churchill. Hotels in Churchill are all basic, family-owned accommodations that are clean, comfortable, and centrally located to all of Churchill's amenities. The hotels feature private washrooms, basic toiletries, and Wi-Fi. Next. During the time in Churchill, guests will enjoy a Tundra Buggy adventure in search of summer polar bears and other Arctic wildlife, such as Arctic fox, ptarmigan, which is an Arctic bird, moose, and caribou. The Tundra Buggy meanders over a system of established trails in the Churchill Wildlife Management Area, stopping at leisure to enjoy the scenery, search for wildlife, and take photos of the lush flora and fauna of the subarctic. Next. But what is a Tundra Buggy, you might ask? Tundra Buggies are all-terrain vehicles that have been specially designed to operate in the harsh Arctic conditions with minimal impact on the environment. At more than 13 feet high, the Tundra Buggies can be easily navigated through the rough terrain of the tundra, keeping riders safe and enabling them to observe polar bears in their natural habitats. Each Tundra Buggy is heated and washroom equipped with a large observation deck to take in the views. Next. Guests will also participate in an exhilarating dog carting excursion hosted by a local resident and dog sledding expert. Guests will have a chance to meet the team of friendly dogs, hear stories, and enjoy a mile-long ride on a custom-made dog cart through the northern boreal forest. Next. During free time, guests can visit the Atsanatak Museum, which houses one of the most extensive Inuit art collections in the world, and then step back in time at the Parks Canada Visitor Centre while viewing detailed wildlife dioramas and learning the remarkable history of the fur trade. Next. Of course, a huge highlight of Churchill in the summer is the Majestic Beluga whales. Summer is the perfect time to visit Churchill. Next. During the months of July and August, the Churchill River is teeming with beluga whales who migrate into the warm, shallow waters to give birth and feed on fish. Next. Known as the canaries of the sea, these friendly and inquisitive creatures will capture your heart as you enjoy their whale song by boat and zodiac. Next. Churchill is home to the largest beluga whale population in the world at surface level, so close you could almost reach out and touch them. The weather in the summer is often warm, but temperatures can vary as strong winds off the Hudson Bay can push the temperature down several more degrees. The temperature can also feel much cooler on the water while on boat excursions. Dressing in layers is the best way to be comfortable. Temperatures range anywhere from 5 to 20 degrees Celsius. Next. Another big highlight is a guided tour of the Prince of Wales Fort National Historic Site, the oldest, most northerly stone fort in the country, and at one time home to Hudson Bay Company of Adventurers, who lived and died in this harsh environment during the 1700s. The fort is rich in history and timeless beauty. Step inside to admire the strength of the stone structure that has been standing guard for 250 years at the mouth of the Churchill River. Guests will take a trip back in time through the ruins of the fort that took 40 years to build under the harsh survival conditions of the Arctic. Next. Once your time in Churchill has come to an end, the group will take a flight back to Winnipeg and check in for the night at the Lakeview Signature by Wyndham Hotel, located adjacent to the International Airport. Next. So to help bring everything I just talked about full circle, here is a short video that best captures the adventure. All right, so thank you everyone so much for joining into this presentation today. I'm so sorry about the technical difficulties there. But again, if there's any questions relating to the portion in Churchill that I can help answer today, I would be happy to. And yeah, thank you again so much.
Yes, thank you so much, Laura. I apologize as well. Technology is, it worked this morning, of course, when we tried, and then as soon as all the clients come on, it seems to stick. But we have recorded this presentation as well, so I know many of you joined us late. And I'm just looking through the chat box, and I don't see too many questions. I know we lost a little bit of the audio at the beginning, so hopefully we got everything sorted out through to the end there. But anyone who did sign on this morning, if you do book on this tour, you are eligible for that $100 discount per person. So that's great. And I will email out this recording to everyone who joined this morning. So if you do want to rewatch it, just to deal with some of that technology issues. Now, I have a question coming in, so I'm just going to read the chat here. We have a question from Linda. You can probably answer this for us, Laura. Will the Wells Grey Tours group be part of a larger group, or will it be our own private tour in Churchill?
So as of right now, it is planned to be part of a larger group, but it's not to say that if we don't get lots of people coming from Wells Grey that we might be able to break you off into your own little group. So it could go either way.
Okay, great. Thank you. And I see, thank you, Roger. He said it was a great presentation, glitches or not. So thanks for hanging in there, everyone. And there's a question from Penny. She's saying there's lots of stuff on YouTube like Frontiers North buggy drivers talking and videos about what to wear. So I'm not sure. For the summertime, do you have maybe a suggestion of what people should pack? We often, on every tour, we will put out a packing list with suggestions for people of what to bring to match with the climate, but maybe there's something, Laura, that sticks out in your mind, like a waterproof case for your camera or something like that, because you're out on boats seeing the whales?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the best suggestion is just to really come prepared for all types of weather in the summer, as broad as that can sound. But the best bet is to dress in warm layers, so that way you can remove layers if it's warm or put them on if you're cold. As I mentioned, the weather does tend to cool off significantly, especially when you're out on the water. You might also want to bring a bug jacket. The bugs in Churchill can be a little bit bad depending on the year, of course, and the wind conditions, but truly my best recommendation is to bring layers and to dress in layers for the summer.
Okay, that's great. We have one more question coming in from Harvey, and he's asking, do we pay for our own food? Are the costs of the attractions covered? Okay, and total cost of the trip. So I have all this information. There are 11 meals included on this tour. I know that there's 5 breakfasts, 3 lunches, and 3 dinners. So there is a few meals that you are on your own for, and we usually, make a restaurant recommendation when you're in Churchill, or the tour guide can sort of direct you in the right place. As far as almost everything is included. So what we can do, Harvey, if you want to email me, I can email you the itinerary for this tour. It has everything that's included. And then if you have any further questions, we'll go from there. So hopefully that helps. The cost is $7,995 per person. That's for a double fare. And then for single fare, it's $8,925. I can tell you that. Any last minute questions from anyone? Well, Laura, you did a good job. We
got all the questions answered. Great.
Great. Okay, well, thank you everyone again so much on behalf of Wells Grey Tours for joining us this morning. I mentioned earlier, for those who joined us a bit late, we're very excited to also be selling the Churchill polar bears. This is a tour we have partnered with Frontiers North Adventures in the past, so we're very excited to be selling this again. That tour is going to be coming out in about a week. So if you're interested in seeing the polar bears, please call us and get on the interested list. And once that tour is out for sale, I've already chatted with Laura, and she is more than happy for us to put another webinar together so we can do a specific one about the bears. So that's really, really exciting. And I think that's it. So thanks so much. Oh, Harvey is just asking if there is a bear/whale trip combined. I think Laura can speak to this. I know sometimes can be sightings in the summer when some of the bears come down. Is that true, Laura?
Yeah, absolutely. So the summer is a great opportunity to see the first summer polar bears that are coming back on land for the season. This trip that we have planned with Wells Grey for the beginning of August is definitely prime dates for seeing the beluga whales, but we'll also offer an excellent opportunity to see polar bears, whether it be in the water or on the land by Tundra Buggy. So.
Okay, great. And then we do have a question from Bev, just asking if we're planning a trip also in July of 2022. I don't think we've got that far yet, but this tour is brand new for us, going in the summer to see the belugas, and it's been very popular. I think it's such a unique, magnificent experience. So I think probably most likely if we can offer it in 2022, we will. So would be, if the demand is there, we'll try and offer it again. I know I would love to come. All right, I think that's it. Well, thank you so much. I will send out this recording. Thank you, Laura, for joining us this morning. We wish everyone safe and happy travels, and we're looking forward to a bright future ahead. And we miss all of you so much. So thank you for joining us. And one quick announcement, we will be hosting our Wells Grey Tours Spring Travel Show. So we're just starting to work on that. So we are going to do that online. We did one in the fall, so we're going to do one in the spring, and there'll be more information coming to you soon in the next e-newsletter about that. So stay tuned. And if any other questions pop up, please don't hesitate to call your local office or email myself. So thank you so much on behalf of Wells Grey Tours, and hopefully we'll talk or see you all again soon. So big digital hugs. Bye, everyone.